Well, I'm running for a myriad of reasons, but the primary reason is because my young adult sons don't want to live here in South Carolina as adults. They don't believe that their voices matter here or their lives matter here. And we always have talks about the future and what theirs looks like. And it breaks my heart to think that, I was born and raised here. They were born and raised here, have lived here their whole lives, just like I have, and were educated in the public schools of South Carolina. The majority of our family is here, and to think that they want to leave our state for those reasons, and those reasons are valid. I mean, they're right. I just got tired of trying to talk them out of leaving, and started thinking about the reasons that they want to leave, and they are reasons that so many of our best and brightest young people are leaving our state in search of higher pay and equal opportunity and a better quality of life. So I am in this race to change South Carolina and to create a South Carolina where all of us can thrive. We live in a state where the good old boys and gals seem to be the only ones who are thriving here. And the candidates who have run in the past, and even, of course, our current governor, haven't been speaking to the majority of South Carolinians. And that is something that I also hope to change, so that we can create a South Carolina that all of us can be part of and proud of. Well, there are a number of skills that I don't feel that that are very strong for me. One of those would be my technological skills. That's something that I think I would like to do better, because that too is a necessary ingredient for connection. Being able to advance myself in the ways that I know I need to, or advance the causes rather, that I champion in the ways that I need to. Well, that's a really good question, Kevin, because running for office was never on my to-do list, never on my bucket list. I never really saw myself in this arena, although I've kind of worked in and around it for most of the better part of my life. I served as a page, and I can't honestly say that I was necessarily moved to public service by serving as a page. But when I told Anton Gunn that I would help him find someone to run, and couldn't really find anyone that I believed or that we believed would further what he started, further the initiatives that he started, that I was so appreciative of living in his district. I mean, for the first time, we had town halls and community forums, and we were able to get engaged. And I saw and heard from the people around me when I asked questions, or when they asked questions, we all had the same questions, and we all had similar ideas and similar concerns. And so it gave me an even stronger sense of community. But I'll tell you, when I realized that I was called to this work, there were a few things that happened. One was, there was an elderly couple who lived in my district right after I got elected, and didn't really understand myself what elected officials are tasked with doing, and the challenges that would be coming at me. And this elderly couple reached out to me, and they said that something had happened with their water and sewer lines, and that they had, sewage backing up in their home. And I thought, wow, that's crazy. Like, and so I asked the lady, I said, have you talked with the city of Columbia? Have you talked with the county? Like, I was trying to figure out who to best refer them to, because, clearly they reached out to me, but I didn't see myself as the one who could resolve that issue for them. And so it was, I was thinking, why did they call me? Like, I'm not, that's not really what I do. I don't know how to handle that situation. And it was right before Thanksgiving. I will never forget. It was super cold, and the lady told me that she and her husband weren't really mobile. He was in a wheelchair, and they had some mobility challenges. She wasn't, but their children were adults but didn't live here. And I remember thinking, wow, these people could be my parents or my grandparents. And I just could not let go of them, because I knew that if I wasn't able to get them help, then they, she told me they had already reached out to the city and the county and nobody would help them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am with really the fate of these people that are in my community that I really don't know how to help. And so I went to not only the city and the county, but I went to the churches in the area, and I collected money to help them pay for the repairs that they needed to get their lines fixed. And then I went to one of the churches in the community, and they gave me a Thanksgiving basket, basically full of food and other, things that they were giving out. And I took that along with the money to this couple, and they wept. They were so grateful and so thankful that I took the time to do that. And I didn't really see that as an exception to what public servants should do. I was just floored that they had exhausted every other resource, and every other person just kind of pushed the ball to somebody else and said, hey, this isn't my job. And at first I felt the same way, like, this isn't what I was elected to do, but I could not help them. And we ended up helping them and making sure that they got the resource, got their lines fixed, and got even more than that. And that wasn't me. That was me working with, in collaboration with my community. And it really underscored the need to have somebody in this space who cares and isn't willing to just pass the buck on to somebody else to say, hey, that's not my job, you do it. Or, let me refer you to so-and-so, because that's, out of my lane. And it was out of my lane, but I've stayed out of my lane, it seems, throughout my service. And it has served me well. I did not understand fully what a public servant did and all the different facets of public service until I was in that seat. And then right after that, we had redistricting, and my swing district was targeted. And so that was another area where God just showed me, like, you are here for a reason. Like, it wasn't, to me, it was like by chance, because I couldn't find somebody that I thought would continue what Anton had started. But very early on, as I moved forward and began to truly represent the people of my district, of my House district at the time, I understood why God had me in that space, because I was the only legislator to fight the gerrymandering plan that was a part of the Republicans' national strategy that year for swing districts like mine. And I took that to my caucus leader and my caucus decided not to fight it. So I had to fight it as an individual citizen whose district was impacted because I didn't have the support of our caucus. And I knew then that it was short-sighted of us and that we were going to pay for it down the road. But I did not, even though I said what I discovered was that they were packing districts like mine with Black voters to further marginalize our voices, to rid the Democratic Party of white Democrats, and to create a permanent Republican majority stronghold. I knew that, but to see that actually come to fruition like we have in the last 10 to 12 years, oh my God. It's like, there's no question now for me as a senator and gubernatorial candidate that I know why I'm in this space, and I know why my feet are firmly planted in this arena. And so those are just a few of the reasons that I know why God has me in this space. So my guilty pleasure on Friday and Saturday nights, if I can. If not, I have to record it and watch later, but I am an OWN fanatic. I love all of the shows, Ready to Love, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Put a Ring on It. I mean, you name it. And I love OWN, and I watch them, with my girlfriends and my sister, and just that's my guilty pleasure, like watching shows that I enjoy. Queen Sugar, when I can catch it, I'll be glad when it comes back on. Greenleaf, when it was on before that ended. So OWN is OWN Network. That's something that I think about a lot. And right now, we're seeing the true state of our state. The state of our state is bleak. It's sick. It is grappling still with a pandemic that has devastated many of our communities, especially communities of color. And so when I think about what my new administration will look like and what that will mean, the impact that it will have on the state of South Carolina, I see a thriving South Carolina. I see people who have never been seen, never been heard, never felt protected, never been supported, coming back into the fold, and not just literally coming back to South Carolina, but wanting to stay here, wanting to help us move the needle and move the ball forward even more because of the positive changes we're making. I see people who are connected, not disconnected. I see people who are engaged, no longer disenfranchised. I see people who are thriving, not just surviving, and not just feeling like they're never going to be able to have the kind of life or quality of life that they need and deserve. So that is what keeps me going. It's what gives me hope. When I think about all of the South Carolinians who, like my sons, feel like they don't matter, their voices don't matter, their lives don't matter, they will know that they do matter. They matter to me. They matter to those who will be fiercely advocating for them in my administration. They will know that they matter for the first time in our probably in a very long time. They will know that they matter. Oh, I love spending time with my family, quality time. And it's something I definitely don't have enough of now, but we love to get together and eat. We are, Thanksgiving is our favorite holiday, favorite time of the year, just because of the fellowship and just the love that we share, the laughter, all the stories, all the, it's just, that is my absolute favorite thing to do. It's spend quality time with my family. When I met a young lady who didn't look like me, and she came up to me and said that she just, she couldn't believe she was meeting me. She had been following me, and she appreciated what I had to say, and she appreciates the fights that I've taken on, and she just cried, and it was such a genuine love and a genuine connection, and just a reminder that connection is not, we're not connected by race, we're not connected by gender necessarily. We are connected because of the things that, the issues and the challenges and the things that we have in common that really transcends all of the boundaries and all of the division, the dividing lines that have been drawn by the majority party to divide us. And so when I see young girls, I see myself. I was at an event in my hometown of Bennettsville this past weekend, and there were some young ladies doing a praise dance at this particular event. And in that moment, I just got so full because their ages ranged, I think, from like 8 to 11. And I saw myself in every single one of them. They were, they were dancing, and they were looking at those of us who were there to speak, just in awe. And I remember looking at women who were doing great things when I was their age, and being in awe of them too, and wondering how they were able to do what they did. And now I am that woman who is hopefully being a beacon of light and hope to a much younger generation. And so those are my favorite moments, and to see and to feel that sense of community and connection to people I know and people I don't. It's just it's such a sobering and humbling and beautiful experience that there are too many stories like that I could tell, and too many stories that have been shared with me on the campaign trail that I then have taken and gone to the Senate and introduced the legislation to help move the needle forward for them, just because it was the right thing to do, and the people are exposing me to challenges that they face that I may or may not have been aware of before. So just that sense, there's no way to even describe the level of energy and excitement and enthusiasm about my candidacy, but also the level of connection that I have not seen with other candidates on either side of the aisle, but that I feel so genuinely in my spirit every time I'm on the campaign trail. And this is with young men, young women, and all races, there are, like I said, no real dividing lines when it comes to my candidacy and the connection that I have to the people of South Carolina. So it's just a beautiful thing to experience.